Hey guys, what's up? It's Firefang92. We got another News of the Week segment. Kind of a short week this week, and I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. A lot of Shadow Paladins, and I gotta be honest, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to Shadow Paladins, but I'm gonna try. Jumping right into Monday, we got the card of the day, Sovereign Dragon Claret Sword Dragon. Claret. The red color. Anyway, he is your actual proper break stride for shadows. What he does is Gen Break 2, sack 2 rear guards as an act once per turn, and he gets 10k in a crit, which that's not exactly spectacular, but at least it means he has an independent effect. Unlike somebody I know. Anyway, and then auto CB1, one stride, search your deck for a grade 1, call it to rear, and it gets 2k power. Which is pretty nice. Basically, search out your sword breakers, get a free plus. Well, not free, because you're soul blasting, but anyway, yeah, search out your sword breakers or your trumpeters or whatever. And, you know, plussing. Plussing is good. He's kind of basic, and I'm gonna say on that one, either you like him or you don't. There's not much that can be said about him that will, like, convince anybody. There's no special combos I can think of. If I'm missing one, please go ahead and tell me. Anyway, moving on to Tuesday's reveal, Fathoming Stealth Rogue Yasuke, I think. He is your break stride for Murakumo. What he does is Gen Break 2, when a rear guard is put on the bottom of the deck due to one of your effects, search the deck for a card with the same name, call it to rear guard. So basically, he makes your temporary cloning into permanent cloning once per turn. And Counterblast 1, when a G unit strides, choose a rear guard and call up to 2 copies of it, which is pretty nice. The thing I like about him is, like Gurgoit, he has this perfect synergy with strides, and that you don't miss any of his effects while you're still using a stride aggressively, which isn't true about, like, say, Claret Sword Dragon or Vampire, if I'm Char Harlot, if I'm being fair, because then their Gen Break 2 is just like, it is aggressive, so you have to choose between using their effects aggressively or stride aggressively. But with Yasuke and Gurgoit, you can still stride and use your strides aggressively, and then still use their Gen Break effects to get maximum potential out of them. So, it works like that. He's a little bit underwhelming, to be frank, because at that point, you're very rearguard reliant, and Murakumo doesn't exactly have the best rearguards. So he's good. He's capable. It's not bad. Moving on, we got the reveal of a couple of other cards on Tuesday. First off, we got Seal Dragon Gale Surge. Counterblast 1, when he boosts, he's a grade 1. If your Vanguard has Seal Dragon in its name, he gets plus 2k for each of your opponent's grade 2s, and they can't intercept. Power Columns. What else needs to be said? It's even a 9k booster, just so if you throw him behind your Seal Dragon 12k attacker. Can I just say I love that they're supporting Seal Dragons? Like, I miss Seal Dragons. If we could get more Seal Dragons, I'd be happy. And, if your opponent has 2 grade 2s, you can throw it behind a 10k for a nice 22 row. or 21 row. Sorry, sleepy. Anyway, we also got the reveal of White Dwarf Lady Battler. When she boosts, choose a locked card and unlock it. If you do, the boosted unit gets plus 4k. So, another tool to set up power columns on the rear guard. Power columns on the rear guard are nice. And I'd say definitely they can be helpful in Link Joker, considering you're such a resource-oriented deck with the way lock works and everything. So pressuring your opponent's resources a little bit more is helpful. So yeah, very playable. Oh, she's Gen Break 1, by the way. Not that that's important. Just means you won't be able to play it the next format. Anyway, which of Black Pigeon's which of Black Pigeons? During your turn, if you have a Witch Vanguard, so she has an effect that gives her an effect. Kind of pointless if you ask me, but it's just to make sure you don't. Your Vanguard has to be in Legion, so you can't use it during this format. But it's a crit, so you'll be using it anyway. If you have a Witch Vanguard in Legion, she gets Act. Put this card on the top of your deck. If the number of Grade 0 rearguards your opponent has is 2 or more, nerf your opponent's Vanguard by 5k. And shuffle your deck. So, crit trigger means she's automatically playable. That effect is really very excellent, because 5k nerf is a big nerf. And it can really be very incredible when making a push. And combining that with the nerfing options that witches already have, so like I've said since the beginning, that Rias is basically the prime witch, but having the additional rearguard nerfing options, like this and Sequana, it does make like a pure Fianna deck kind of viable, because then you can still efficiently get the zeros on the field and then still be nerfing so you have an aggressive presence. And it's a crit trigger! Anyway, moving on to Wednesday, and Wednesday's card of the day was Psychic of the Storm Rigel. He's your rare boss for Dark Regulars in set 3. What he does is Legion with Isaiah. Please say this means an Isaiah reprint. Please say this means an Isaiah reprint. Because I need Isaiah. And then auto counterblast 2 when he attacks Vanguard if he's in Legion, and you have 10 or more in Soul, retire 2 of your opponent's rearguards. Then if you have 15 or more, retire another rearguard. So 3 total if you have 15 or more in Soul, which you really should, considering you should still probably be striding on Gilles de Rais. So 15 is required for Dark Regulars nowadays. Reiji would be proud. And that's a controlled +3, so nice card. Another interesting aspect of him is once per turn he can Soul Blast a card with the same name as the unit on your Vanguard to Soul Charge 5. So basically, the point of that is that you just powered up your Doreens and your Isaiahs by 15. So, not too shabby. And I'm not entirely... Well, that's probably going to be fairly consistent if you want to play a full deck of him. because I've said this since the beginning, you don't need to search for things in to soul charge in Dark Irregulars. The sheer mass of soul charging you get will put it in there sooner or later. And also, Daisei is still a grade 2. You can still just run your starter as Greedy Hand and get the 5 soul charges easily that way. Power Rearguard columns, solid plussing. He's a little bit, sort of mellow, because there's not much else to him. There's not much that helps him close the game. I guess they're intending you play him with Hadar. But, I mean, he's an R boss, so what else did you want? Okay, there were a couple of just clones revealed on Thursday, and I'm not going to cover all the clones, because if I do, then the day the sets drop, we're going to be here for like 3 hours, just covering all the clones. Basically, Bermuda got another Lemonade, and the Link Joker Amber locks a grade 2 or less. Look them up on your own time. So moving on to Friday's cards of the day. Actually, got 2 for Friday. First, we got Sovereign Black Dragon, or a Geyser Dragon. I'm going to be upfront and say that I actually really like this card. A lot of people are kind of on it. But I like him because he's more of a technical boss, and not so much of a just, yeah, I'm gonna hit your face, sort of normal Shadow Paladin boss. So, I like that. I like that in bosses. It makes me happy. What he does is Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, which, in terms of cost, is a little bit awkward because you kind of want to be saving those souls for, like, your sword breakers and everything, but I haven't seen a Shadow player hit 0 soul, I don't think. But now it's a possibility. Anyway, he Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, Persona Flips. Does not have a 2 or more condition, so that's a plus. You can use him first turn, which is excellent. Choose 2 of your rear guards and retire them when he attacks. You pay the cost. If you do reveal the top 2 cards from your deck, he gets +5 for every grade 1 or less revealed, and then you put those cards into your hand. So basically, he swings for a lot of power, is the start of that. He also helps you reconsolidate your resources. So if you, call down a 7 in front of a 7 in early game, so you could swing for 14 at a 9, and then into your next turn, you're looking at a grade 3, so that 14, you don't want to have that there forever. So you can retire the column, get cards back out of it, and then so you were able to make your rush and able to make your push, and still keep the cards, both defensively or aggressively, if you want to call it back later. This would be a little bit nicer if it could be used for some real multi-attack outlets, because right now, with you've got, I think your battle phase calling is limited to Maka, who only calls to grade 1. So you're either going to be making a very lackluster row, or just calling just calling a 10k attacker or something, and swinging at a rear guard. Because she only calls a grade 1. There is a card in Narukami that could make good use of this. It basically swings for 11 as a grade 1, but it only can swing at a Vanguard. So, if I forget what it's called right now, but if Shadow's got a clone of that, that'd be an interesting bit of utility, because then you could rearguard row, hopefully 16, this, sack that row, mock a row, and then another 11 to finish, and have 4 completely viable attacks. But as it stands, I mean, I suppose you could always attack unboosted, and, well, that's regarding a card we're going to see in just a second. By the way, this does mean that the guy in the show is a massive sacker, because he just pulled 2 perfect cards off of this, which, that's not fair at all. And yeah, obviously, there you have a best case scenario there, pulling perfect cards and really surviving. Anyway, the next card of the day for Friday was New Sharp Knight David, or David, or whatever. Gen Break 1, when you would sack him for an effect, he counts as 2 units. So, that's very nice. It automatically turns your Aura Geyser into a +1 instead of a 1-for-1. As well as just anything else that would like to retire. Claret Sword Dragon. If they don't get a grade 1 version of this that's not blaster restricted, because Charon is blaster restricted, then I could definitely see this guy getting played at like 2 or 3, just because he helps you get pluses, and he's easy to tech into. So, like, and if they got, like, say, a grade 2 version of this, that'd be really good with Aura Geyser, because then that grade 2 could, like, swing at a rear guard. Aura Geyser could sack it, and then you wouldn't need to boost it on the first attack, so Maka could help you get additional attacks. That aside, just looking at this as a grade 0, it's a little bit inconvenient for Aura Geyser, because that means, because he is your starter, he is your forerunner, so he's most of the time going to be behind your Vanguard, and that means he will be losing his booster. But he is at 26 because he's a stride, so probably still hitting anyway. Just asterisk there. Opponent has, like, I don't know, a quintet wall or something that they wouldn't drop if you were at 31 and would drop if you were at 26. That's it. Kind of a small week this week, but that's okay. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you next time. Firefang92, signing out.